Okay, for review purposes, we're going to look at multiplication without a calculator, everybody's favorite. So we're going to look at a two-digit number, 27, and we're going to multiply by a single digit, number 3. You'll notice putting the larger number or the number with more digits at the top is an easier way. It is not always worth more. So if this had been 2.7, no, it is not greater than 3, but it has more digits, so it's easier to put it on top. It's important to show what's happening in your mind as you multiply, and we call that, when we're multiplying, carrying over. So we're going to do 3 times 7, and I'm going to write it down as I say it. 21. 3 times 2 is 6. Add the 2 to it, and we have 8. So our answer is 81. We're going to go now and do a two-digit by two-digit number. Again, in the past, we have sort of lightened this one so that it doesn't distract us. And we're just going to focus on the 8 right now. 8 times 5 is 40. Put the 4 up top. Transpose the 0 down below. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 4 is 28. Now, if we go back to the question and we darken the 3 and therefore lighten or cover up the 8, we know that the 3 is in the tens place, so we're really multiplying by 30. So we're going to put a 0 down here to hold the ones place for us. And now we can multiply through. 3 times 5 is 15. I put the 1 up top, the single digit down below. 3 times 3 is 9, plus the 1 that we carried up top gives us 10. We can now draw our horizontal line and add our columns. We have 0, 8 and 5 is 13. I'm going to carry the 1, transpose the 3. 1 and 2 gives us 3. We have nothing in this column and just the 1, so we end up with 1,330. Now the reason I picked this two-digit number of 35 and 38, you might assume we're doing the same question. We're not. I'm going to now insert some decimals, which often throw students off because it looks more complicated when in fact it is not. And so we would just, step number 1, concentrate on just the numbers, ignoring the decimals. And obviously, if we repeated this question and we were doing our multiplication correctly, we would end up with the very same numbers, and we would produce again 1330. And at this point, we would have to stop and look back at our question, and you can see we have 1 decimal in the 3.5. And we have a second decimal place in the decimal 3/8, and we have a third decimal place in that question. So add it up, 1, 2, 3. We would take our decimal, which is always to the right of the question, and we're going to move it back once, twice, 3 times, and our formal answer is equal to 1.330. I'm going to do one more example for you. We're going to do 210,409. And similarly to the previous question, we're going to multiply through here, ignoring the decimals in the question. 9 times 0 gives us 0. 9 times 1 gives us 9. 9 times 2 gives us 18. At this point, I want to point out that we're multiplying through by a 0 in the tens column if we had no decimals here. But you'll notice that it is a 0, and simply 0 times anything is equal to 0. So we're just going to hold the zeros place. We could go and fill the rest of the line with zeros. It's not necessary. But because we're now going to multiply through by 4, we have two other places where we need to put the zeros to hold the place. And we're now going to multiply through by 4. 4 times 0 gives us another 0. 4 times 1 gives us 4. 4 times 2 gives us 8. Now we're ready to add our columns. 0 and 0 is 0. 9 and 0 is 9. 8 and 0 is 8. 1 and 4 is 5. Nothing and 8 is 8. We have our final step of counting place value. We have 1 decimal after, 2 decimals after, 3 decimals after. Again, we take it and go once, twice, 3 times to the left, and we insert our decimal for an answer of 85.890. This will help students complete worksheet 1.9. Who was that?